Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6:15 on Saturday the 15th of August, just making my way down to the land. After the crazy weather this week, I'm wondering if the plants have survived or not, so let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's a little bit earlier today because we've had such a scorchingly hot week this week. I wanted to get down early to try and get some water in the ground, just in case we have a repeat of the mega temperatures that we've had this past week. It's been absolutely ridiculous. We've been in the mid to high 40s inside the polytunnel and the cabin, and the mid to high 30s outside. It's definitely been a testing time, trying to keep on top of the watering as I rush back from work each night and madly throw water everywhere. Not the best way to do watering for the plants, I'm afraid, but it's had to do. So I'm going to get myself unlocked, sorted out, and then you can take a look and see what survived and what hasn't survived. Well, first things first, as usual, I've opened up the polytunnel. It's amazing how much condensation builds up even during the night time. Daytime is just like a sauna, literally like a sauna. We'll have a quick whiz round this side first. This little mixed bed of pumpkin and squash, that's been really suffering this week because it's in a pot rather than in the ground, but it still is putting out plenty of runners and flowers. We've got fruit forming pretty much everywhere actually, so there is quite a lot of fruit forming. And in terms of the pumpkin, there's some quite sizable fruit. So I don't know, I guess we'll see. They're certainly coming. The Jerusalem artichokes, I've no clue what's going to happen with those. I guess proof of the pudding will be what tubers are produced when I finally take a look back end of the season. It makes a change to be here when the temperatures are as low as this. It's been crazy this week. We are going to have the sun make an appearance shortly. The forecast's been saying rain later today and tomorrow, but I just don't buy it. Polytunnel, we'll start with this side. Blueberry bush, still putting on nice fresh growth. It is looking very nice, this bush, and a little bit tidier. It was getting a bit straggly. Peas are just about gone. I've saved some and I've eaten some. But having said that, it's still producing flowers. I can't believe it. Even this one that looks like it's completely dead, it's fighting back. It's quite surprising, really. I don't know what to do with them, whether to just give up the ghost with them or not. Similarly, the cucumber, I've harvested quite a few of these. You can still see there's some more, and there's some new ones coming. So I'm not quite sure what to do with those. I'm really not. We've even got fresh flowers coming with little baby cucumbers. So I am tempted to just leave that. It might not look great, but it is still producing flowers and fruit, even over here as it's escaping down this end of the polytunnel. It's doing the same. I don't know, we'll see what happens today, what mood takes me. Squash, can't see it Oh, hang on a minute, what's that? No, it's not. False alarm. I thought there was a fruit coming. But there isn't. A lot of growth, but not much else, I'm afraid. The blueberry and cranberry, lots and lots and lots of growth on that this year. That's going to be really nice next year, I think. The watering system's been doing my head in completely. A few videos ago I was talking about water and I talked about algae growth, and as you can see, this is just a white plastic tank, and as you can probably see down that side, this hot weather and the colour of the water, I have got some algae growth in there, and it's playing havoc with these little micro pipes and the sprinklers. I think the algae is blocking these pipes, and I've tried blowing them, sucking them. I'm amazed I've not gone down with some tropical waterborne disease this week, but I haven't. I'm still here. So yeah, I'm going to have yet another rethink about this. It's getting towards the end of the season, and although we've had tropical weather this last couple of weeks, it's not going to last. I don't care what they say. We will get back to state normal, and before I know it, I'll be complaining about rain, wind and mud. Tomatoes, size-wise, you can see it's like a little forest in here. They're still putting on lots and lots of growth, and as you can see across the workbench, flowers. We have got tomatoes, believe it or not. There's a few tucked away there. Most of the plants have actually got tomatoes on, just not many of them. You can see there's some more buried back there and there. So we have got tomatoes. I'm just a little bit disappointed in the number. I mean, there's a few buried back there. So 3 or 4 in a little group, and there's another few buried back here. Yeah, it is disappointing, but at the end of the day, it is a learning curve. So I'll know for next year and do things a little bit differently. Strawberries, really pleased with these. They're putting out so many runners now, it's difficult for me to keep pace and plant them all. But I am doing my best to capture every single little last one. These trays now are literally brimming with fresh plants, and as you can see, they're still throwing little runners out everywhere. So next year I'm going to have absolutely loads of strawberry plants. I'll have to make some kind of little bed for those. Fig tree, putting on growth still. That's surely got to slow down as we head towards the back end of the year. So there is a bit of work to do in here today. Getting the strawberries sorted out, trying to tidy up this tomato forest, and making some decision what to do with the peas and the cucumber. Seedlings, remember I planted 1 bucket and tray, what will that be, 3 weeks ago now. Carrots, a bit disappointing, there's not many of them in this bucket. They are still continuing to come through though, you can see there. This tray of cauliflowers, another couple of weeks before they're ready to be transplanted, and again this is a bit of an experiment. I don't know what will happen if I put those outside. That other buckets of carrots I did, lots of those coming through now. I'm not worried about these at all because they can sit pretty much anywhere in these buckets, inside or out, it doesn't really matter. The other cauliflower trays I planted up, that was what, 2 weeks ago now. Lots coming through in there, some quite nice growth. Again, not quite sure what I'll do with those in terms of planting out, whether they'll be able to survive outside all the way through to Christmas or not. And again, those little seedlings I took, quite a few of those seem to be taking root, so that's good. I'll not hold my breath too much. I will be amazed if it does work and I do get them to develop into full plants, but you know, it's all an experiment. The tomatoes are put outside. They are still alive, but that's about all I really can say for them. You can see the amount of yellowing. They've really struggled out here. I did almost give up during the week when I was coming back every night to water, but I've not. I've kept hanging in there, and these plants have kept hanging in there. They are putting out more flowers, and there is literally the odd tomato, but no, I'm not expecting anything great from them really. This camera seems to keep going out of focus for some reason. Don't know what that's about. Potatoes. I think that barrel's not far off been ready, to be honest. But I am just holding back. I'm not going to empty that this week. There is a temptation to, but I'm deliberately not going to. And this one's still got quite a few weeks to go yet. Some of them are falling over and yellowed off, but there's still a lot of fresh green growth. So yeah, definitely leaving those. I do have this spare barrel, and I have got some potatoes that have chittered. So I'll just get rid of that weed. I am going to pop those in to this barrel today and just see if we can't get another crop set away to harvest at Christmas time. Raised beds, these broccoli are going to come out today because they're just about finished now. We've still got water in the bed from yesterday evening. Beetroot, they're quite strong now. There's the odd casualty. Something has stripped that one completely. This bed, again, these broccoli are going to come out. They are still trying to put out new shoots, but I think just call it a day. They've definitely finished there. The garlic that I put in, that's come through, looking quite nice, and I did pop the odd little stray onion that I had left in there, and they've come through, so that's good. This final raised bed is these carrots. I might just pull one of these buckets today. I pulled one. Did I pull one last week or the week before? I can't remember now. It must have been last week because I've still got a few left. But I think I might just pull another bucket today, see how they're progressing. And those onions, they're doing really well. Really, really well. Quite interesting to see how they turn out, but I can see that there is some really strong big growth there. And that little tiny squash in that pot, I don't know how that survived in that little tiny pot, but it has, and it's flowering, bless it. Talking about which, in this main bed, which is just squash, we've had lots of flowers on those. There still are new flowers coming buried under there. Yeah, quite a few new flowers still coming. This has taken an awful lot of water this week. But we have got, look at this, a bit of excitement for you, what we've got buried in here. We've got 2 squash coming there. I'm guessing that if I look hard enough, there's probably a couple more scattered around the place. Is it going to disappoint me now? Looks like it is. Yeah, that might be the only 2. What's under here? Yeah, I think that is just those 2. But given the amount of flowers that's coming, they're not going to be alone. And the pumpkins. Again, I don't know how these have managed to survive. I really don't. With the rabbits digging up the roots every 2 minutes, and they have definitely suffered in this sun, but they are still putting out new growth and new flowers. How pretty is that? And obviously pumpkins. There we go. That one doesn't look too healthy, but that one does. Yeah, so we have definitely got a fair crop coming of pumpkins, despite the best efforts of the weather and the wildlife. So that's it really for the garden. I'm going to be tempted, I think. You'll remember last weekend I ran the little red tractor around this wooded area in the central section. I noticed as I've been coming across the field each night, this side doesn't look it from here, but I am starting to get lots of growth on this side now. So before this sun comes up and kills the day for grass cutting, I'll just be tempted to run round and kill this this northern side. Anyway, as always, we're making it up as we go along, so I have a little couple of jobs to do inside the cabin, but I'll keep you posted as the day develops. Well, that's the little red tractor out the garage. I'm just going to have a quick cup of coffee, because it was a bit of a rush out this morning, and then I'll get cracking and get a bit of this grass cut and see what the weather does. But I'd rather do it now while it's a bit cooler and we don't have that scorching bloody sun that we've had this last few weeks. This little tractor, bless it, I am really impressed with this. This was definitely one of my better purchases, considering the state of the land when I first got it. It's been a proper little workhorse. It's not let me down at all. Yes, I've had the odd puncture here and there, and I've changed a couple of belts, but that would have needed doing anyway. I have to say, hats off to it. It's worked really, really hard on some quite, well, not quite, very uneven ground, which is not really designed for, but it's done a really good job. There's no way I could have kept on top of this without that little machine. So yeah, thank you, little red tractor. Well, we're about halfway through that northern section, so I've just come to empty the grass box. It's amazing how much crap comes from that road. Stuff's just flying all over from people chucking it out the car windows as they drive by. But I'll get that heaved on the composting bin, and I'll have a little break. So far the weather's been nice to me. I've got to do a little chore on that rear CCTV camera, so I've just got my steps out so I can get access to it. The crows keep attacking that. If I remember, I'll pop a little video clip in when I do the editing, but I've noticed that the battery on that is not at 100%, it's dropped to about 60-65%, so I'm going to quickly take it off there and plug it into charge off the solar system. Not quite sure why it's not charging fully. The front one certainly is. It might be that the crows keep jumping up and down on that solar panel, and I have to keep putting it back again to point to the sun. It could be that it's just not getting enough sunlight. But anyway, that's lots of little fiddly jobs to do. But first things first, let's get that grass emptied while the kettle boils, and I'll have a quick cup of coffee. It's a fairly simple job this. It's just simply, it's like a magnetic attachment, so it pulls off, and I just take out this little power cord out of the back there. Actually looking at it now, I can see it's not completely seated into the camera, the rear of the camera, so I think the crows pecking away at this have just loosened this cable that feeds in. Anyway, we'll get that sorted out and charged, and I'll have 5 minutes with a cup of coffee. So that's the camera plugged in there. It's just feeding off that USB port on the solar charger. It shouldn't take more than, I don't know, half an hour to fully charge, but that's good. It gives me time to grab my coffee and let the little tractor cool down a bit before I finish off that northern section of the field with the grass cutting. Well, that's the grass nicely cut down all the way across this northern side of the field. Just trying to keep it well under control, and hopefully there won't be too many more cuts to do, because we're already halfway through August, heading towards the end of August, so I'm hoping it's all going to start slowing down and give me a bit of a break from this grass cutting. But it's nice just pottering around on the little tractor, and at least it's a million times better than it was when I first took the field last year. Got a few potatoes there. I did mention that earlier, so I'm going to get those popped in. I'm not quite sure what's happening with this weather. It keeps threatening rain, which would be very, very nice. But I wish it would make its mind up, and even better if it would do what the forecast says it's going to do, because it just isn't lately. Anyway, enough chatting. I'll get myself sorted out, get the little tractor put back in its garage, and we'll call the grass cutting done for today. So I've got these potatoes which I'm going to take a chance and pop in. You can see that they've chittered, so I'll just pop a few holes into this compost that's in there now, and we'll see what we get from those. You never can tell. The potatoes might look fine with the little chits popping out, but that's no guarantee that we're going to get anything, especially this time of year. I'll leave that for now till they start sprouting, and then I'll just gradually top up and we'll see how we get on. Just pop a little bit of water and that'll be it done. Quick and simple. Mentioning waters just reminded me to have a quick look at these IBC totes. I did check on them, I think it was last weekend, just to see what was in. You'll remember in one of the videos they've dropped quite a lot now. What we're down to? We're down to 800 litres in each. So I've used at least 300 litres this week, just keeping on top of the watering. So I am praying now that this sky does what it's threatening and actually gives us some rain. Like I say, forecasts are forecasts, they keep promising it, but we've had nothing, no decent rain for ages now. I'm really pleased I've got that water in the IBC totes, because dragging it in from home in 20 litre cans is a bit of a pain. But fingers crossed this week, perhaps, you never know, we might get some rain. I've just popped those potatoes in and given them a watering, so we'll see what happens with those. I will take a look at those carrots before I go today. But one thing I do want to take a look at, I have mentioned these bushes in previous videos. Elderberry, and we've actually got some ripe berries now. In fact, some of them those are overripe, they're drying off on the bush, bless them. Birds have clearly had a good go at these, but I'm going to collect. They're not all ripe, which is the trouble. We've still got lots and lots and lots of green ones, but there are a few bushes here, so there's a few on there. Not many, it has to be said. There's a few more down here, but they're not ripe yet. They're almost all green. There's a couple starting to turn there. I'll take a look today and just see if I've got enough to collect. If not, I might have to leave it, because with winter approaching, and particularly with this COVID still kicking around, I was going to make some elderberry linctus. We'll see. If I get them picked today, then and I've got enough, I might do that over the weekend. If not, it'll have to wait for next weekend. I thought I'd pull these carrots sooner rather than later, because I do need to water in this bed. I'm not convinced that I'm going to get any from the sky. The burning question is which bucket to pick. I think, to be honest, we'll go for the one that's nearest, rather than trying to find the biggest ones. At least you can say that whatever I show you is unplanned. I just do it. It's not like I'm staging it for the video. These were watered yesterday, so they might be a bit wet. There we go. So let's take a little look and see what we've got in here. Yeah, there's still quite a lot of small ones. I think, to be honest, that's not a bad size. They can probably do with being left in for quite a while yet, at least another couple of weeks. They're still quite small. Oh, perfectly eatable, don't get me wrong, but yeah, they're not the largest carrots in the world. But I have to say, having eaten quite a few of these now, they are extremely sweet, very, very sweet, which is nice. Well, there's certainly plenty of them in this bucket. Nearly threw that one back. yeah, there's no shortage. They're small, but there are plenty of them. That's a bit larger, that one. It's almost hand size. As is that one. And they just keep coming. There are a lot. They're not bad sized either. Nothing wrong with those. Yeah, it's just size. They're perfectly formed. They're very, very sweet. But they could do with being in for a few more weeks yet. At least I know. And I have got, because these are the first ones that went in, I have got plenty to go at. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets in the bed, plus of course all those that I've just planted this last couple of weeks. So I shouldn't be short of carrots for quite a while. Look at that one, that is nice. Nice size, that one. Nice and thick at the top. And they just keep coming. From that little bucket, it's amazing how many you get. And that's it. Get all that soil put back in. I'll just grab the camera off the tripod and you can take a little look at that. I'll count them up as well. Pleased with those. Well, there we go. That's what we got. 36 carrots out of that one little bucket. I have to say I'm quite pleased with that. As I said earlier, they're not the largest carrots in the world, but put my hand next to them, you can see how big they are. There are quite a lot of small ones, but they're all eatable. They're all very tasty because I've had them before. And it's a lot from one bucket. So I'll leave those others in. I'll give it a miss next weekend and perhaps the weekend after and just see what we get the next time we pull some out. Well, as I suggested I might earlier, I've taken out those last few broccoli out of the raised beds and made some space for the next lot of seedlings that will go in. I've just popped, I don't know if you can see it or not on the video, I've popped some organic compost on there. Well, you can probably see it better on this one actually. Hopefully if we do get some rain it'll wash that in, and I'll top it up with fresh compost when I put the next seedlings in. So raised bed's looking a little bit empty now. We'll see how those beetroot get on, and I am looking forward to the carrots and onions as they progress. Weather just does not know what it's going to do. The wind's picking up now and it's starting to blow the polytunnel around a little bit, so I guess we might have some rain, who knows. Weather is just so unpredictable lately, but at least the grass is down. And I've got the cabin to retreat into with my coffee if I need to. I'm just busy trimming out the runners on these strawberry plants for the ones that's already successfully rooted, of which there are, it has to be said, a lot. I am quite surprised just how many have rooted. They have sent out lots and lots and lots of these runners. They're everywhere, they really are. That plant particularly. So I've got a tray full with still lots of runners off this one tray to sort out, and I haven't even touched these yet. So I'm going to busy myself for, I don't know, half an hour I guess, and get these. I've got a new seed tray there full of compost ready to plant some more in. Fingers crossed next year we should have a bumper harvest. This one can actually come out as well now because they're all rooted. so I'll just snip those off. It is quite amazing just how many of these there are. Incredible amounts. And again, I've still got all these runners to plant in. Truly amazing. Very, very happy with the strawberries this year. I'll just snip those while you're there. There's a couple more. They do keep coming. So yeah, just leave me to this and I'll get back to you in a while. Might seem a little bit obsessive with these strawberries, but I'm determined to get as many plants as I can for next year. So in these original pots, if you remember, I started out with about 6, I think, and out of those only 3 matured. The rest died off because they were bare root, and I don't think they were transported well, and I don't think I knew what I was doing. But they've multiplied in their own pots, so those pots are now chock-a-block with plants, you can see or not. And I've been busy with these little shoots that keep coming off these runners and gradually potting those on, and outstanding results. I've got about 8 plants in the 2 outer pots, maybe more than 8. I've got about 5 or 6 in this little middle one, and then these are also cuttings that I took from the original plant. There's, I don't know, 6 or 7 in that back tray, and I'm shooting off runners into this little pot here. I'm really, really pleased with the amount that I'm getting for next year. Seems a long way off, but it's good experience. I'm learning lots of things as I go along with all of the plants in here, to be honest. Especially the tomatoes. Bit of a disaster, but hey, whatever. So yeah, quite excited with those. Let's see how these seedlings develop over the next week or 2. Well, the jobs never stop. I'm waiting for the kettle to boil, and I'm just filling up these containers with water for the polytunnel. And while I'm on, I'm just checking out what I've picked up on the trail cam over the last couple of evenings, so I'll keep you posted if I find anything exciting on there. The CCTV's charging away. It's at 80 odd percent now, so by the time I'm finished today, that'll definitely be done and back outside. So lots and lots of little jobs. They never stop. Well, the jobs just don't stop. The more time you're here, the more things you find to do. I just thought I'd take a little quick break, have a coffee. We're almost done for the day, and just say hi and see how everyone's doing. I hope you are all bearing up wherever you happen to be in the world with this COVID-19 thing that just keeps rumbling on. It's got really quite chaotic here in the UK over the last few weeks. The kids clearly had been off school, and that meant they didn't sit their exams, so exam grades were estimated. Various different systems that they've got for doing that, but nobody's happy. So there's a big crisis looming over school kids' exam results. Even though they didn't sit them, they've still got grades. We're looking as if we are going to get a second wave. They certainly are in mainland Europe, and I think perhaps you can correct me if I'm wrong if you're in the States, but I think you're experiencing a second wave now there as well. So it just keeps coming. Lots of talk about vaccines. Russia claims they've got one. The UK's got about 6 different ones where they've bought up stocks before they've even gone through all of the final testing. Government's trying to hedge the bets there, ready for the winter when flu arrives. And lots of scandal about the testing regime and whether or not the number of cases increasing is down to more testing, And I guess more importantly, and this is something I've seen a couple of people on YouTube comment on, there is a lot of talk about the tests that are being done. Yes, they detect COVID-19, but they also detect every other kind of coronavirus, of which there are many, including the common cold. So there's lots of theories floating around now that all these people that are testing positive for COVID aren't actually testing positive for COVID. They're testing positive for one of the many variants of COVID. So this thing just keeps rumbling on. Fortunately, we've not seen any interruption to supply chain because we've not gone back into a full-blown lockdown. We've just had little areas of the country going into mini lockdowns. So we'll see how we get on with that as the year progresses, but I would urge everybody, if you aren't keeping on top of your long-term food stores, please do try to keep on top of it and do keep topping up. And similarly, if you're new to prepping and you haven't set aside long-term stores of food and all of the other various things that preppers store ready for a crisis, I would urge you to do that. This ain't over, for sure. One other thing about COVID, it seems to just have that many things connected to it. We've seen a lot of people try and take advantage of the lifting of the lockdown to disappear off to different countries in Europe and further afield. Don't quite understand the logic of that, because COVID certainly has resurged in mainland Europe, which of course means the government has started quarantining. It started with France 2-3 weeks ago, I can't remember off the top of my head. And at that time they did say, be careful, because these lockdowns can come, or these quarantines can come without any notice. And sure enough, yesterday the government put quarantine into place for people coming from 8 or 10, I can't remember, other countries, including France and Holland and some of the Caribbean islands. So of course now there's a mass panic going on from all these people that have gone on holiday. They can't get back to beat the quarantine lockdown. And lots of them have got kids, so if they don't get back, they're going to be in quarantine when the school starts again in September. So complete chaos. Best thing really is go about your normal business, try and keep away from people, take your precautions, and let's just all try and get through this with the least possible amount of inconvenience. Anyway, enough about COVID. It's not my favourite topic, I have to say, though you wouldn't think it, having had a mini rant for the last 10 minutes or so. Weather today outside does not know what it's going to do. Forecast says rain later and rain tomorrow. I'm not buying it. There is a breeze. It is cloudy, but it is very, very humid. And we've experienced a lot of this strange, unseasonal kind of weather over the last few months. I really can do nothing else except just keep coming down and watering wherever I've got that's still growing. Until such time as we do get some rain and I get a bit of a break from all this watering. Anyway, I'm going to finish my coffee off and have a little bit of a last minute tidy up. A couple of little mini jobs to do, but nothing big or exotic. And I might just go out and pick those elderberries. We'll see how many I can gather in. But whatever it is you're doing, do stay safe. And don't forget to keep on top of those preps, because as this year has proved, you never know when something's going to go wrong. And you've only got what you've got stored in the cupboards. So I'm busy outside before I go, just picking some elderberries. I've got lots of bushes, but unfortunately, they're not all ripening at the same time. It might still be a little bit early for them. The majority of them are like this, they're still green. I've managed to find quite a few ripe berries. There are the odd green ones mixed in, which I'll have to pick out. But I'm not convinced that there's enough there for what I want. But I'll get them home and get them washed and cleaned down and see what I end up with. Might have to wait for the actual video for another week, but we'll see.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. It's really been a crazy week, what with the weather and the crazy crows attacking my cameras. But it's not been too bad today. Raised beds are looking a bit bare. The forest of tomatoes isn't producing much, but it's all a good learning curve. Do let me know how you're getting on, whether it's with your garden or your prepping or with the COVID situation. Just drop me a comment in the comment section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.